Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Ehrman.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. If you guys are watching on the YouTubes or watching the video, I got my 100% German shirt on today. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to be too ornery, but let's talk about that because that's kind of what goes together, right? German and ornery. I maybe haven't touched my inner German side lately and gone on any kind of rants even. Interesting. I do have some stuff to talk about as far as the market goes on the Without the Bank podcast. So I might get a little bit ornery there, but I'm not going to today. We're going to talk about ways to use the infinite banking concept. I was visiting with somebody last night and they were like, oh, I didn't know that you could use the concept for that. I didn't know that you could use the concept for that. They're like, you should do a podcast on all the things that you can do with the concept. And I thought, well, that's a good idea, but don't we already know? And obviously we don't. If this person didn't know, then other people are not going to know. So let's talk about it. And I don't know how long this is going to be. It's probably going to be pretty short, just because you're going to get the gist of it. However, on this particular podcast, everybody has their blinders on to what is forward. And forward means farming and ranching only, right? And so it's really crazy that sometimes I will get questions, and I get them a lot actually, on social media. Can I use this if I have a poultry farm? Can I use this if I'm not a big farmer? Can I use this if I am, because everybody thinks, oh, I have to have massive acres in order to use the infinite banking concept. Can I use this if we're equine? Can I use this if we just have horses? Everybody thinks it's not possible for them. And I get it because the title of the book is farming, not ranching. People even say, can I use this if I ranch? But if we look at the infinite banking concept, let's just break the title apart a little bit, and it is infinite. And the reason that Nelson called it infinite is because we can use it for absolutely anything. It does not matter. It is infinite. And so it doesn't matter if you're buying a tractor, if you're buying cows, if you are financing vacation, if you are financing braces for the kids. It absolutely does not matter. And so last night, somebody said to me, well, can we use this to pay for college? Absolutely, you can use it to pay for college. You can use it for anything because it's infinite. A lot of times I will talk to families and I will say, well, let's just say it's a family operation, mom, dad, and a kid. So the kid doesn't have all these expenses, maybe living at home, has a stockpile of money, right? Because they're a good saver. But dad is going to the bank and borrowing money at 9% for operating. Well, why wouldn't the kid lend money back to the farm and then dad can pay the kid back at 9% interest? We can lend our money to other people. And we can be the actual bank in that scenario. I occasionally see that where family operations, family meaning we have people that are working off the farm, but it's a family, it's probably second generation. Grandpa and grandma are done. One of the siblings is farming and the other siblings all have off the farm jobs, but they're actually lending money back to the farm to the sibling that's farming. because keep the money in the family. And that is, they're already practicing a banking concept and they don't even know it, right? They're just trying to help out family. And somebody said to me, I think it was last week or the week before, well, Mary Jo, I know I'm not supposed to buy a car with this, but we needed a vehicle. I don't care what you buy. You guys, you don't have to explain to me what you're buying with it. If you want to buy a vehicle with it, you can buy a vehicle with it. If you want to go on vacation, go on vacation. If you need to put new tires on a car, put new tires on a car. If we need to buy a teenager a vehicle, buy a teenager a vehicle. If we need to pay for college with a cash value, pay for college, right? It's not just there for a cash flowing asset. What's nice about using it for a cash flowing asset is that whatever we bought can pay the loan back. We don't have to worry about paying premium and a loan from our working, from our working income or from the income from our business. And so take your blinders off, and I want you to think about, what am I purchasing? It's not what am I financing? Because if people say, what am I financing? Some people say, well, I don't finance anything. I just pay cash for everything. Yes, you still financed that. So what am I purchasing with cash that are large numbers? Now, large numbers are going to be different. Some people, $1,000 is a large number. Some people, $10,000 is a large number. So it just depends on income level. But again, it doesn't matter. Nelson said this is not written. This book was not written just for wealthy people. It was written for the average American. That is why he has in his book the average American scenario, that 35% of every dollar is going to interest, right? We have very little going to savings because we're using it to buy things. And so are we buying campers? Are we buying boats? Are we going on vacation? What are we doing with that money? Are we buying guns? If you go out and you're going to buy a $1,500 or $2,000 gun, is it worth it to borrow it from cash value and then pay cash value back? That's 100% up to you. But if you pay cash for that item, it never gets put through the policy. So we can use it. We can use it to buy properties. You can lend money to other people. You would think I'd have made a list of this before, but no, I just hit record because that's how it works over here. I have heard of people using it. If they own a business, they use their cash value to pay bonuses. They use their cash value to pay for the benefits, the dental health insurance, eye insurance, whatever. If they are going to have a Christmas party, they're going to use it for their company Christmas party. So it's absolutely endless. If you are maybe you are a company owner and you're giving loans to one of your employees. If you are a farm operation and you're giving loans to the kids, they're still an employee, right? So if we're giving loans to them, then do that through the policy and make them pay you back plus interest. It's really simple when we quit making it so hard. We think that because I am always talking about cash flow and creating cash flow, that's the only thing we can use it for. We can use it to start a business. I used my cash value to start my business because I did not have the money to make payments to a SBA loan. There was no way I was going to go get a loan from a bank to teach the infinite banking concept. It's probably not going to happen. So I just cashed out my 401k or IRA and I used all that money to pay premium. And then I turned around and borrowed against it to start my business. I did not have to make payments. So if you're starting another business and you need a piece of equipment or you need some cattle or you need some goats or sheep or chickens, or I frankly don't care if you want to build a chicken coop with it. Nobody cares. The thing we care about is that you make sure you pay it back. It's not free money. So use it to help somebody. You could borrow cash value and donate that to a nonprofit. You could start a nonprofit with your cash value. You could borrow cash value and give it to the bum on the street. Nobody cares. So take the blinders off and look at what are we doing with our money? Could we run it through the system? Do we have enough to pay premium and pay a loan back if we don't use it for a cash flowing asset? If we don't, we have to capitalize the system, which is exactly what Nelson talks about, right? Capitalize your system, then start borrowing against it. He's got all the strategies in the book. If you guys have not gotten the Becoming Your Own Baker book yet, and you've just purchased mine, why? Why have you not picked this book up? I have a longtime client that emailed me this week and said, "Oh, I finally got through Nelson's book." You're right. It was really good. It was really good. And as I'm recording this, I'm actually going through the book as almost like a study guide at this point. And it is amazing how many things I'm catching because it's different. I was telling a colleague this yesterday. It's different when you read the book versus study the book to teach it. So even though you're not going to teach it, if you're going to read Nelson's book, read it to study it as if you were going to teach it, because everything is there. Every paragraph or every other paragraph has something very important in it. He did not use extra words for anything. He has a couple stories in there to get you thinking and to get your imagination going. But at the end of the day, there's not fluff. A lot of people go to the back of the book and they want the numbers. It's not fluff. It's infinite, and he's challenging your thought process. I'm coming in and just meeting you where you're at as far as the farming world goes. And then we talk about the basics of kind of getting started. Once in a while, I'll get a big thinker and they'll be like, "Well, could I use it for this? And could I use it for that?" Absolutely. You can use it for whatever. But we have to look at what we're doing as a whole and not just our lane of what we're in on a day-to-day basis. What are we using cash for? Could have that been used from the policy? It's not just what are we borrowing money from the bank for? That is a very short-sighted look. So that's my challenge for you is take the blinders off. This can be used for an infinite number of things, hence the title. And then by the grace of God, go get the book. If you just got my book, that's a great start, you guys. I did not repeat Nelson's book. Mine is a great start just to kind of get you introduced, right? Nelson's going to make you think. Go to farmingwithoutthebank.com and grab his book. I don't recommend going to Amazon to get it just because it does not help the Institute at all. Amazon takes like all the money. Even though my book is on Amazon now, I'm just not a fan because the people selling stuff on Amazon are not, you have to sell massive quantities and that's great for these distribution centers. But at the end of the day, it's hard to keep a business going when you give away your product, essentially. So I always try to buy stuff from people's website versus Amazon just because I know how that works. So go to farmingwithoutthebank.com, grab Nelson's book there and read it. You guys, I have mine highlighted. Like this particular chapter, look at that. It's highlighted. I have stuff underlined. I have stuff written in the margins. When I tell you it is my financial Bible, I'm not lying. That's really how I look at it. And keep rereading it, and you're going to understand that this truly is infinite, but you need your imagination. Remember, Nelson said, this is imagination. is one of the 4 things that are going to make up the principles of IBC. Okay, that wasn't supposed to be long and it ended up being long. Let me know if you have comments, questions, concerns, if there's a topic you would like to cover. I'm always open because even me with a lot of words, I'm sort of running out of stuff to say over here. So help me out. Let me know if there's something I've not covered that I need to cover. Mary Jo at withoutthebank.com. Otherwise, that's it. That's all I got for you today. And I'll see you in the next podcast. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.